Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we are going to break down the best cards at every position currently in NHL 23. This is not the best values. These are not the best situational players. In a vacuum, the 4 best players on every forward line, the 3 best on each handedness for defense, and then 2 goaltenders, and we're completely removing cost. Pretend cost is not an issue. Now, before we get into this, I'm not including the fantasy hockey cards, the non-MSP, so like Dobson, Dahlin, for example, because those are damn near impossible to obtain. I am including Gretzky and Mario because at least you can make them all year round, so they're a lot more obtainable than someone like Dobson is, unless you have 2 million. Even then, there's probably like 6 that are tradable just floating around. So I'm not including them. They are obviously among the best at their position. Again, this is not meant to be gospel. This is legitimately just a guide for anyone looking. Maybe you're looking for a tiebreaker or just the cards that you think that you should be chasing. These are the ones, in my opinion, and it took a lot of my community's input as well going over these rankings. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. With that being said, let's get into it. All right, we're going to start first with right-handed wingers on forward, okay? Now, there are a lot of options here that are all, in my opinion, honorable mentions. For example, the Master Set Solani, the Power-Up Icon Solani as well is still very strong. I think they fall just outside of the top 4, so they're still extremely good cards. They just fall a little bit short. So we'll start at number 4 among right-handed wingers, and that's going to be the team builder, Danny Briere. Now, I mentioned in the team builder video that I think he is the 1A tier out of the 6 that were released. All the other ones were in the S tier. The only reason being is his size. However, at the current state of the game, he is still one of the best cards in the game. And I think that he comes in at number 4. He is technically the second fastest card in the game. He's also got some pretty good attributes to make up for his size. 90 body checking, his 91 balance, and elite edges with wheels is a very good combo on a card like this. Now, obviously, if you had him on your 4th line, I wouldn't activate this. But again, it's in a vacuum. If these cards are the ones you're going for, in my opinion, he would be the 4th best right-handed winger in the game. Next up, coming in at number 3, we've got the X Factor Matthew Barzal. If you've been watching my No Money Spent series, this is the best card that I have used almost all year round on that team, but even still, just one of the best cards in general. With Fly the Zone and one of the only cards that has the 3 synergy slots, so you can put Gladiator on him, as well as Light the Lamp and Fly the Zone, you end up with a card that's got 97 speed and gold elite edges. He feels just absolutely nuts when you're using this card with elite edges activated. One of the best cards I've used all year. His shot is nuts as well, and his hand stats, like you can do pretty much every deke or move flawlessly. I've equated this to playing with elite edges with a card like this, like you're playing on LAN, like you're not playing a server. Like when you are using all of the other cards, they can feel sluggish, or maybe, they feel a little bit of delay. With elite edges on a card like this, it feels like you're playing like on couch co-op. So in my opinion, one of the best right-handed wingers in the game, and you can play him at center as well. But as it stands right now, he checks in as the number 3 right-handed winger. Coming in at number 2 is the 91 Mario Lemieux. The older version, in my opinion, just one of the best wingers in the game. Obviously, a very strong center as well. He's got the perfect center build at 6'4", 225. I think just his skating and everything like that just kind of plays better for a wing. His low body checking stat is just kind of what sets that apart. He's huge, so he bumps people off the puck, but his body checking is a little bit lower, so defensively, I'd rather have him on the wing. I've used this card for quite some time now. He's one of my favorite cards to use in game. And again, I think that when he gets booming shot as well, that really helps him out. And as it goes along, if he can get Fly the Zone or a skating, his next ability in his first synergy should be 2 to speed. And then you're looking at someone who's just absolutely going to fly. He did get an upgrade to speed, so his next tier when he goes on January 1st is probably not going to get a speed increase, but he should get that next synergy, which would allow him to get a speed up higher to 96. So one of my favorite cards so far, and he comes in as the number 2 right-handed winger. And the best right-handed winger currently in the game is the 90 X Factor Nathan MacKinnon. I've used this on the God Squad for quite some time. He's got Fly the Zone, so he's got 96 speed, 94 acceleration, silver wheels, ankle breaker, which I'm not a huge fan of, and make it snappy. Again, his abilities aren't that good, but he's one of only 4 players in the entire game that have a custom stride, and I think that there's something to that. If you go and look in the offline rosters, you can see that there's 4 players that have, I believe 5 actually, that have a custom stride. It's completely random. I don't understand why. He's one of them, and it just makes him feel faster than everyone else for some reason. His shot is in the low 90s, but it feels way more than that. Just an all-around great card, and this is more about feel than attributes attributes and things like that, because if you take a look at Mario Lemieux, he looks better in every way, basically. But Nathan MacKinnon, there's something about him. He's the best right-handed winger in the game currently. All right, let's move on to center. And center, there is a ton of options that you could do, like a ton of honorable mentions. I'm going to bring up Austin Matthews, for example, or even more recently, the Peter Forsberg, the 90 overall. Like, this is a great card, any way you look at it. But like I said, for every position, there is a ton of just honorable mentions. So keep that in mind. This is all going to come down to feel and things like, feedback, as well as my own personal experience with these cards, because that's what a lot of you ask for. In my opinion, I think the fourth best center in the game right now is the spreadsheet hockey Patrice Bergeron. You're going to be talking about it a lot with Quick Draw. And I think a lot of people, they're still underscored that it is not that useful of an ability. And I think that the best way I can describe it is, if you have someone with gold Quick Draw 99 faceoffs and you are good on the draw, no matter what, you're going to win 66% of the time. And that's even if you're not very good at the draw. So there's just something about it. I think it gives you a huge advantage. And now, obviously, if he's your fourth line center, you're not going to put 6 ability points into Quick Draw, but you could, and it would still be useful. Close quarters makes his shot feel a lot better than it is. There's something weird about the far side wrister in tight with Patrice Bergeron. It goes in all the time for me. So this has been more about feel. I've personally never really liked Patrice Bergeron cards until this year. And in my opinion, he's the number 4 centerman in the game right now. Coming in at number 3 is the 90 Mark Messier, the Edmonton Oilers one. This is a really big flex card. You could also go Ole Jokin in the team builder. I think that, again, that's another honorable mention, real close. But this Mark Messier, every time I've gone up against it, has been an absolute force. Gold truculence on a forward is wild. I mean, we see it with Todd Bertuzzi, and even the way that this game is played with everyone sitting behind the net. If you go and try to bump anyone on PlayStation, they just fly right off. Like it's like they don't get impacted at all. Truculence, however, throws everyone around. You combine that with unstoppable force and the fact that he's 6'1", 210, you can't knock him off the puck, which is why he has such a good advantage. He's got 92 on the draw and just a perfect build for centerman. And in my opinion, he comes in as the number 3 best center in the game. Coming in at number 2 among centermen, and you could play Wayne Gretzky on the wing. I have this card, the Edmonton Oilers Wayne Gretzky. I think the reason why I view him more as a center now, because in prior games it's always been on the wing, just because he's a little bit smaller, and defensively that's where centermen, you want to have them bigger because you bump them off the puck, all of that. However, it's unstoppable force and elite edges. The combo of that allows him to play like he's way heavier, and that's why I like him at center. He's got 91 on the draw with distributor activated, and again, his next tier, when he goes up one, he should get fly the zone or wingman, which will allow his speed to go even higher. This has been one of my favorite cards to use all year, and if you are able to chase him and you're hut rich and you're able to get him, congratulations, you're gonna have one of the best cards all year round. Coming in at number 1 is the 92 team builder Jay Beagle. This card has been nuts to use, and for anyone wondering, at the time of this recording, it is reported that we should be getting card art for Jay Beagle shortly. I don't know when that means, maybe this week, maybe next week, I'm not really sure on that, but we will be getting updated card art, so I just wanted to mention that. Again, gold quick draw on someone with 99 faceoffs. If, like I said, it's automatic. Like, it's just such an advantage to start with the puck every time. I've liked Big Tipper if you're someone that goes for a lot of tip shots. I have noticed it a little bit when you fire it low along the ice. I don't really notice it a lot when you're not firing it on the ice. He plays way faster than 92 speed and acceleration. He's 6'3", 209. Defensively, he's perfect. As it stands right now, he is the best centerman in the game. All right, same situation for left-handed wingers. You could, tons of options again. You could go the new 90 Vrana. You could go the milestone Kucherov. But I'm going to go on personal preference, and it's going to be kind of a stunner. Number 4, the 90 Lucas Reichel. He's 170 pounds. He's built like Mitch Marner and Panarin, and if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I can't use those cards. They just get bumped off so easily. It's elite edges or something. Maybe the 92 balance set. There is something about this Lucas Reichel card that plays way bigger and better with the puck. Close quarters with elite edges has been a phenomenal combo if you are someone that can work around the net and go for those far side shots. He feels like a left-handed version of Matthew Barzal. Don't know what it is, guys. This is a total personal preference feel, and I can totally understand why you go with other ones, but there's something about this card on the wing. And what's nuts is that he's a centerman. Like, with Thief activated, he's a great center in terms of his attributes, but his size, again, is why I don't want to put him at center. He's been nuts on my free-to-play team, and I don't even have him fully upgraded. Coming in at number 3 among left-handed wingers, this is going to flip-flop depending on who you ask. I've got the 92 Todd Bertuzzi, who has been great. I've used him a few games, and again, just in the community, he has been awesome, especially if you're in the higher divisions because of the playstyle. He does not lose the puck. He's 6'3", 225, silver close quarters and gold truculence. The one knock is that bumping people defensively, Todd Bertuzzi's been great, even on the forecheck. But if you get even like 3 steps into it, automatic penalty, which has been awfully annoying in some instances that I've noticed. He feels way snappier than his agility at 90 indicates, and that's because I have Magician on. Maybe that's because I have Magician on. But he has been a great card. Don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the best in the game and really, really fun. Just comes in at number 3 for me among left-handed winger. And the reason being is the 92 Gary Roberts has felt like one of the best cards I've used all year round. And again, I think depending on who you ask, they'll say Bertuzzi's better, some will say Roberts is better, but I'm using all 4 of these, which is nuts when you consider how many ability points. But he feels faster than Connor McDavid. His shot is automatic. He's got silver truculence and unstoppable force, so he can't lose the puck, and he knocks everyone off of it. I don't know what else to say, man. The feel of this card has been wild, and there's been instances where I've liked him more than X Factor Connor McDavid, which is absolutely nuts because Connor McDavid is clearly the best. But still, this Gary Roberts, guys, I don't know. In my comment section, I've seen some people hate him. And just for me, maybe it's PlayStation. I don't know. But Gary Roberts is number 2 for me. And then number 1 among left-handed wingers, he's going to have this spot locked up all year round, the 90 X Factor Connor McDavid. If you go into the corner and then cut out from the corner into the middle to go far side, there's no one that can keep up. It's like he's on like 15 out of 10 speed. Like, I don't know what it is. It's the agility as well as the speed. It's nuts. I'm not even using any abilities on him, and he has clearly been the best card that I've used all year round. His hand stats are basically perfect. Everything about this card, he is all that he is supposed to be. If you get going with him down the wing, few cards in the game that can keep up, and he is the number 1 left-handed winger. All right, on to defense. We'll start with right-handed defensemen. Again, there's a few other options and honorable mentions, and I'm not going to include Ristolainen and Dobson just because, again, they're so hard to acquire. However, we'll start at number 3, the 89 Cale Makar. It's tough defensively because he's not elite in terms of knocking people off the puck. He does have some body checking which is like crazy because it's only 82 and that's with Gladiator on and he's only 5'11", but I have been able to knock people off the puck. His skating stride, again, if you are someone that throws tips at the net or you dance around the point a little bit, Cale Makar is able to do it easier than almost everyone that I have used this year. Really enjoyed his card, and if he's your number 1 defenseman and you're able to put elite edges on him, again, you can go coast to coast extremely easy. He comes in as the number 3 right-handed defenseman. Number 2 for me is the 89 Mackenzie Weegar. 91 speed, 91 acceleration at 6 foot. It's the gold truculence, guys. Again, defensively, you have such an advantage being able to throw around pretty much everyone, and it doesn't matter how big they are. Gold truculence allows you to knock anyone off the puck when they are stuck cycling it, trying to go for those wraps and trying to get you to overcommit. It's been so fun using Mackenzie Weegar. He's been one of my favorite cards as well to use defensively, and he comes in at number 2. And then number 1 is the 92 Seabrook. I mean, again, team builders are very expensive, but silver truculence and gold shutdown, I don't even think you need to activate shutdown. Silver truculence is enough. He plays faster than his speed at 91 indicates. His shot is great, and then defensively, he's got almost perfect stats. He is able to intercept pucks. He knocks everyone off of the puck. If you are looking for a defenseman to make from the team builders, Seabrook would be my pick. He is the best right-handed defenseman currently. Now, at the time of this recording, like I said, I'm not going to include the fantasy cards. However, Fowler's a little bit more viable just because you could make him. When he gets his 92, which he will later on today, he is going to be the best, if not the best, probably in number 2, but I'm just not going to include him in this list because, again, I think the fantasy cards are just so hard to come by. So we'll start first at number 3 among left-handed defensemen, and it's kind of weird because we're in a situation where it's one of the team builders, but it's one of the older ones. We're going to go with the 89 Fedor Teutin, 6'2", 221. It's the silver truculence, gold shutdown, and quick pick. 89 speed is still viable. I would still trade him in for one of the new cards, don't get me wrong, but among all of the left-handed defensemen, I think it's kind of the weakest position in the game right now. There's not a ton of options. Like, you could go with Bone Byram, for example. There's a couple other ones, but this Fedor Teutin is still one of the best left-handed defensemen that you can get. Coming in at number 2 among left-handed defensemen is the 89 Jacob Slavin. I use him on the no money spent team. The gold shutdown, stick him up, and quick pick combo is phenomenal defensively. 6'3", 207. Again, defensively, he's just so good. 90 body checking, 94 defensive awareness, 93 stick checking. And again, you can get him up to 90 speed with that buzzing activated. one of my better cards that I've made so far, no money spent, and he can stay on your team for quite some time with this ability combo. And then number 1 is pretty obvious. It's the 92 Jake Gardiner. I think this is a left-handed version of Cale Makar, only he's able to knock everyone off the puck. He's been phenomenal to use. I use elite edges on him because I'm able to dance through everyone in the zone. Again, I hang out at the point a little too much because all I do is go for tips because I find it hilarious. And he allows me to do that easily. You put gold or silver stick him up on him and he's got a great stick check, but 94 body checking, you'd be stunned at how easily he can knock people off the puck. I think people overlook that because he's got like the skating abilities and stuff like that. But no, this card has been great to use. And in my opinion, he's the best left-handed defenseman in the game. All right, guys, next is goaltending. And again, goaltending will never be something that is going to save you. It is based on how you play defense. They really don't matter, but Markstrom has got to go. He has been absolutely awful, but I'm going to go based on what my community has told me, and honestly, one of the best goaltenders from what I've seen is like the team of the week, Matt Murray with Contortionist. This thing has been nuts, apparently, and I've played it a couple times. 6'5", 66 aggression, Contortionist on top of the World of Chell animations that goalies get. It's made him really, really strong in net. In the end, though, it doesn't matter, guys, because anytime that you get the puck close to your goaltender, it's going in anyways because they're just an absolute mess. Something that I hope gets fixed next year. I have no faith that it'll get fixed this year. The other option would be the 90 Kristers Gudlevskis. I've used him on the God Squad. He hasn't let anything terrible, but he hasn't been spectacular. Butterfly Effect is one of the best abilities. I've used it, and he is what he is, just okay. But there hasn't been some goaltender that, like base Markstrom at the beginning of the year, was just nuts for me. And everyone, really. Hasn't really had that over the last couple weeks now, though. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.